Good morning and welcome to the Beef and Barnzy Tuesday edition. This one especially to you from Minster, Ohio and Community Lanes, joined from a much closer proximity than usual, the brains of the operation, Beef Stew.
You're not lying.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. We went down to Coldwater yesterday. Met with Rick and Linus last night. Had a bit of a laugh at Sean Rash and his what are we calling it? His camper.
The Griswold RV adventure.
Yeah, they're having a good old time right now. They've had I think Sean said he's replaced the same tire 3 times or twice already on this trip.
It's been
it's been an interesting
no AC, an axle, another.
Yeah,
and
then they got 5 minutes from the bowling center, and a semi truck went off the road and blocked the road. So then they had to reverse, and Gene was a little worried that he was going to have to reverse 2 miles back up the road. So yeah, it's been
it's been fun.
Been fun times for them on the road.
Sorry, just sharing this out.
Yeah, me too.
But today we are bowling here at Community Lanes. It's actually a really nice 18 lane center.
Yeah,
Minster, Ohio. It's about 30 minutes from where Coldwater is, where the 4th stop on the PBA Summer Tour is. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday regional, with today being or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry, with Tuesday being practice day, and then the next 2 days being a day of qualifying and the finals then on Thursday before everything starts in Coldwater on Friday.
So, Gabriel, you're always there for us. Morning to you too. Emmanuel says he's locked down in Melbourne, Australia. Finally caught up with you guys. How have you both been? We're still a little raw from Jonesboro, but we were well fed, that's for sure.
Well fed and well rested. Our hands aren't doopied up. So
all shut down. That sucks. Hopefully you guys can get out of that soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Jason says good morning. Charlie says good morning. Yeah, so Matt Russo entered the winner's circle. Bowled really good the round robin. I think he actually went from, I think he was about 10th when he went into the round robin, and he moved up. He moved up pretty significantly,
pretty steadily. Had his Mutant Ninja Turtle jersey on while he's making the run.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys, there was quite a bit of urethane going down the lane on both sides of the lane. On the left, it seemed to keep it okay, and on the right, it seemed to make it worse. And so it gave him a better chance the first couple games, but as it moved down the lane, it pretty much eliminated the right-handers from the TV show. So they looked a little tighter on the second day, and you know, our third person in crime here, Dom, he was the leader going in, had high hopes going into Sunday, and his purple did not do the same thing it did the day before, and once he went to reactive with all the rest of the urethane down the lane, it was a pretty shaky proposition. His ball reaction looked way too close to ours.
Look at this funny fucker, Craig Kisrow. How are you guys hand rested when you have to throw 2 balls every frame?
It's not unfair.
I mean, it's a little unnecessary.
It's a top rope, but
I had one game where I didn't.
Yeah, bragger.
Morning, guys, and what makes Coldwater Regional so well attended? I guess we're all into sadomasochism.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the guys put on a great event, and I think that people enjoy the challenge. It's also in a part of the country where a lot of people can access it. Doesn't hurt.
Sure. From the Northeast, it's not close anywhere, but it's actually not really too far from. It's 3 hours from Detroit. It's an hour and a half from Fort Wayne, from Cincinnati, from Dayton, it's actually a pretty well. And they do a good job. They put a host party tent out here. They actually did that for the regional here. Serve food. They like the lanes hard. They have their own identity with it. Kind of embraced it, and much like Portland, their identity is we like them when they're hard. The cut has only been plus one time, I believe, in that center.
And they were quite disappointed. They said the scores were really high.
Really high.
Really high isn't one guy averaging 221.
Yeah, and
That's
that
not
was
really high.
that was basically a cheetah pattern that they tried to make them easy, and they still weren't very easy. And so, I mean, they have T-shirts that say "You've been cold watered," so they've embraced the whole identity of, "Hey, this is."
Here we go.
Difficult building.
Here we go. Did you set Casey up for this?
I did not.
Chris, you should have come to Anderson for the PBA 50. They are hard, scores are low, except for Amlato and Adcock. Sounds like your wheelhouse. Casey, don't. Just don't. In about the third game, Chris was already, so you're going to take me to Anderson? Because I drove. And I said, but I'm getting a free steak tonight. I'll buy you a steak, was the way the conversation went. We'll probably cut off the rest of the conversation because it was other people don't need to be brought into it. How long was the drive from Jonesboro? It was about 8.5 hours. It was pretty easy actually. The last 120 miles took about 2.5 hours, so that was kind of fun. But and it wasn't because of traffic.
No.
It says, what ball from your companies are the closest to the purple urethane? Pitch black, I guess.
Chicken quesadilla over here.
Dom just getting his breakfast / lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. We which were you more annoyed about? The amount of urethanes that went down the lane or the amount of lefties in the top four?
Well, no. Once I missed the finals,
I was cheering the lefties.
I was completely happy with how many lefties are in the top four.
To be fair, once we missed, and to be honest, when I missed was probably by the third frame. My tournament didn't start off the way. When you know the lanes are going to be quite hard, in the first frame you leave the 10 pin and you miss it, in the second frame you leave the 2, 4, 5 and you miss it. It's that's a little that's a little difficult to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, lefty, not as many as you would think, actually. I mean, it's not, in the end, I actually believe because there was so much urethane thrown that the right would have been fine, and I don't think lefties would have had that much success had the right side played it in a more traditional manner, where with reactive, they would have been hard for about 2 games, and then the last 6 games, they would have got decent games 3, 4, and the last 4, they would have been pretty high. Instead of being kind of okay for some guys for a couple of games, and then, I mean, other than Dom and Mike Coffey, they were both in the 200 over range after 4, and that was
they bowled together and they both bowled great. They were on the same pair,
and that ended up being the outlier because nobody else really put that kind of run together. And
Cooley also bowled well, who was also on that pair.
Oh yeah.
So. Running warm after 2 frames, were we? Yeah, and here's the deal. The next frame, I left the 4-8. Not the one I was looking at to break my duck of getting a close frame, I'll be honest. I took all the tape out, put one piece back in because I don't think I could hold on to it if I didn't have any in it. The thumb was like a bucket. And I sent a missile over to the corner at the 4-pin and just was like, I ain't missing the 4-pin. If I hit the 4-pin, I could bounce it out to make the spare.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
It's interesting. I don't know, but it would make sense that they would.
Yeah, I don't think the flow bowling stuff's ever really been on YouTube in the same way. It's only the TV shows.
Right. It's probably the shows that get taped and recorded easy. Flow is a little tougher to do that with. But what do you like there?
Anybody you want to shout out on your cross?
Okay. October 8th, there'll be a big scratch tournament in Altus. 45 minutes. I'm not sure what qualifies as big for sure.
I think it was 2,000 for first.
Okay. All right. So west of Lawton, Fort Sill.
Yeah, I'd still get the shivers whenever you mention Lawton and Fort Sill. Someone says, "Can we get you commentating?" No.
No, actually, because of the way Flo set it up, and please feel free to let Flo know that they've had all remote color commentary. That's why you only hear one person, and they're doing it off their screen the same way. They've chosen not to fly in Dave Lamont or Dave Ryan in, and so they get to talk by themselves for about 10 hours a day, which is an impossible job. So when you're critical of the commentating, keep in mind that they are literally talking in a bubble and have nobody to bounce anything off of for massive hours in multiple days in a row.
So, what are we bowling on this week? We're bowling on Don Johnson here for the regional, and we are bowling, which has been used for the TOC a few times, and we are using Bear over at Coldwater.
I'm guessing the scores won't be high at Coldwater. The problem is fixed.
Jason says our machines run a lot better than at Fort Sill, but do they slope? Do the lanes slope from the left to the right? That's the main question. I don't really worry too much about the machinery. The lane sloping is a big problem. Have you been keeping up with the PWBA? Yeah, we were watching a little bit of it last night. We've been cheering Verity on. Well, the English part of our contingent has been cheering Verity on. The best part of the PWBA right now is when all of the other more established players get interviewed and have to say nice things about how much they think it's great that Julian Martin's bowling great. Because deep down, we know that's not really the case. We've all been there. We've all been a little salty when someone's getting special treatment and exemptions and whatever else. So
yeah, there's Belmo once upon a time.
Yeah, exactly. So we all understand that they're not thrilled that she's there, that the PWBA changed the cash-in rule to allow her to bowl some more. And I get the PWBA side of it. Like, I'm kind of fascinated to see how she's getting on. As like, and they're not really doing it to me. So it's very entertaining listening to them try to play the glad game over. Oh, it's so good for the sport.
Yeah, they're decent. They're way more than decent, and everybody knows they're going to be good players going into the future. That's not the part that's in doubt at all. But if you're a second tier player and have done well, it gets tough sometimes when you feel like it's your time and it's your due that you still get skipped over. But
yeah,
that's all. But that they are the future. You hope so. Off to a great start.
Equipment choices for the Don Johnson. I'm going to guess that there's going to be a few of those urethane balls going down the lane. It's 39 feet. For me, I'm thinking phase 2 is going to look close, I would hope. Maybe a little bit of Zen Master for something a little smoother on the fresh. And then I feel like it's been a long time since I've been able to throw the UC2. So I think on principle, I'm just going to throw the UC2 because I feel like I strike when I get to throw the UC2.
Yeah, it is pro ambulance here.
So, Gene, I'm not sure if I should take that as a compliment or not, but apparently I'm better looking than Chris. Okay. I mean, I think it's just because I'm closer. So anyway, controversy of all controversies. Talk to me, fans. Talk to me in the comments. Bowlers Journal or American teams. Where did it go wrong?
Yeah, first team.
First team was
Kyle Troop.
Obviously
Frankie.
Captain Troop.
Yeah, Captain Troop. Frankie's on there. Thomas Larson's on there. Jason Belmonte's on there. And who's fifth?
Thomas Larson, did you get him?
Yeah.
The other major winner, Chris Fye.
And Chris Fye. Yes, those are the 5 on the first team. So.
Yeah. Talk to us, people. What did you think? Did somebody miss out? Somebody may have had an ESPY award.
Not to my knowledge or advantage. Thoughts on Eric Jones at 16 making this TV show? I don't know if that's the youngest, actually.
Don't know, but I love it. Love me some Eric Jones. I got my ass kicked by him in the regional. I told everybody he was going to be good, and then he ran the regional over the next day. And if you go on Eric, if you search for Eric Jones on Instagram, and you go on, he's got a montage because his dad was taking videos of a bunch of his shots, and he has 2 shots where he gets messengers. And the first one, he 7-10s the messenger. And the next time he 7-pins, the messenger goes past it, hits the wall, and knocks the 7-pin almost back into the 10-pin gutter. They were back-to-back shots on the left lane.
This is an excellent question.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Yeah.
Yes, Belmo did win a title in the Bowlers Journal because it's July to June or whatever.
Sort of, yes.
Yes, because he won Chameleon.
Which was actually in February of the year before, right?
Yes.
But the finals were...
I think you're completely missing the point there, Casey. But...
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the ESPY is almost never... the little byline most of the time has a lot to do with it, because when I go through and I say, who's the best jockey, I don't know who the jockeys are. So if I do vote, most of the time it's just based off the little sentence that they give. So
yeah,
there's lots of times that it ends up being.
But I felt like the Doherty was one of the biggest snubs there's been for a while. He won 2 titles.
Yeah, not 1 but 2, including a major.
Yeah,
and yes, it's kind of like the LeBron thing. Belmo is the best bowler. I get it. He just wasn't last year in that narrow window of, to be honest, relatively not very many tournaments.
If one of the major winners was going to be left out and they were going to pick Simo from the season that he'd had, with the fact that he was second, he made the TV show at the Players. He was second at the, he was really the dominant player at the TOC. I could have made an argument for that.
Yeah. For Simo?
Yeah. I just find it difficult for them to pick the guy who's 14th in points.
Yeah.
Didn't play the PBA. And I think that Belmo would find it difficult to make that as well. So
rumor has it that the reason was given was that because he won in his home center. I hope that one's not true, because that might be the worst, weakest excuse for just screwing up that I've heard in a while.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not his home center. Well, it's in his hometown. He's bowled there before. Well, and it doesn't matter.
Well, the other point is he wasn't bowling against the bowlers who bowl in his home center. Yeah. He was bowling against the PBA guys. I mean, if there was an event at Mel's, I'm sure I'd have a bit of an advantage. I'm not sure it'd be enough to parlay it into winning the big one and another title. Yeah. So yeah, that was
yeah, it just didn't really play out, and Thomas Larson got a nod, and good for him. He was able to win the Masters. I think you could have made a case that even there, I think Thomas Larson had a pretty good year. You could have made a case for Simo over Thomas, even.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in favor when you have so few tournaments, winning one of them. I think.
I agree. I feel like there was a pretty easy formula. Basically, pick all of the guys who won the majors and move on from life. That seemed to be like a fairly easy way to not make an asshole out of yourself. But he didn't go with that, and vis-a-vis, it seems like he made an asshole out of himself. But
so why did TB? I mean, the winner of the ESPY is, they've only got the best bowler like maybe 3 times in 15
The
years.
thing is though, as you say that, but to be honest, if you were talking about how the narrative is, you would think that if it was a popularity contest of people who don't know anything about bowling, if you listen to the narrative, then Kyle would win that easily.
Right.
So I think people need to kind of understand that the ESPY is much more about like which position you are in the roll, and it might have been that Doherty was the second place or the first place or whatever it was, and yeah, I mean, Kyle's going to win Player of the Year, which is the one that matters.
Yeah.
That's the one that really matters.
The ESPY's a cool trophy, but it doesn't come with
And
any.
the thing is the ESPY was really fun when you could go.
Yes.
Now you can't go. It's just one of those odd scenarios, but you know.
Yeah. Weber Cup, we don't know yet. We're still waiting on more information on both sides. I mean, to be honest, we would assume that Kyle and Jesper would be on, and
you would dub.
And we're on the poster, but Dom and I don't have any confirmation of that either. So, sorry. Going back to just what made them so hard. Carry is always hard there, and the building is pretty tough going across. You have some tough bears. The gutter doesn't hook particularly much. It's a little bit. Coldwater has some of those similar characteristics, and so if they put out something that's fairly hard, they're going to be difficult anyway. The deal is when they threw all the urethane, it just made the back ends super tight in that strip between 10 and 15, and then you couldn't get reactive back from anywhere, and you couldn't really go around it because the surface didn't allow you to go around it, even though the pattern said, yeah, it's 38 feet. You should be able to get it to 5.6 and get it going back up the hill. Lots of lanes in that place don't let you do that. And so, in my opinion, I felt like the right-handers really did it. We did it to ourselves. It wasn't really that the left-handers had an advantage so much as that they did what they always do. They throw urethane and moved off of it fairly well, and the right-handers used urethane from further left and made the lanes worse. And so, yeah, I mean, it is. So
the ball and center is impossible. The pattern was it became wildly favorable to the left side after a time, and the right-handers were constantly in chase mode. And when the thing that was really bad in the second squad was whatever worked on 5 and 6, 100% wasn't working on 7 and 8, and 79% wasn't working on 9 and 10. So if you found a solution, the best solution was almost not the right thing to find, because if you found a solution that was super good, that meant that it definitely had no chance of working on the next pair. But if you found a solution that was 75% of the way there, that was actually the best way, because there was a chance that had
it could work on both pairs to some extent, and then you could bowl well enough to shoot.
Yeah, you could shoot 220 type of deal. But if you shot 260 on one lane, like DJ Archer was a great example. He shot 245 with like the back 9 or back 8, bowling with you on 3 and 4. He went to 5 and 6 and missed the head pin 3 times out of 4.
Well, more like 5 out of 7.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he couldn't leave a spare for 7.
Yeah.
He's in the 7th frame. He's got 78 the next game, and he just head bowled the best game that we'd seen since basically game 1 from our group. And so, and it really was. It was like going almost to a different pattern from pair to pair, and the urethane I thought made that worse. And so it's really Dom's fault, because him being 200 over after 4 cemented that was the thing to do. And
so what we're saying is hashtag fuck Dom.
Well, is there anything in bowling that doesn't need a better media deal? The media deal is actually quite good, but if you're in Europe and they sell it to Asia and some other places, I think they do pretty well.
Here's the deal: you can watch it. Yeah, you can watch it. It's on DAZN. Now, DAZN's a month-to-month subscription, so yes, you can watch it. Yes, you do have to pay for it. Matchroom have their own thing that the Weber Cup gets uploaded to. So that's part of it. If you're into boxing, DAZN is going to be a really good deal going forward. But yeah, I mean,
it's a little like Flow Bowling in that way. That Flow, for only bowling, people tend to think that it's pretty high, but they do 16 other sports.
Yeah.
They don't get a lot of coverage either. And so if you're into any of the other ones, then it becomes a pretty good deal.
To be fair, love, it was on. To be fair, love, it was on. It was on over here for a long time.
Yeah.
On the TV, and nobody watched it because it was on Fox at like weird times and everything else.
Yeah.
So
Before Fox Sports became as big as it was, became FS1, it was still smaller and it just didn't get watched much.
It's on the internet. Do you not have an internet connection? 100% it works in Ohio.
It's DAZN. It's DAZN. DAZN. Yeah. It was, I think last year or when we were in Vegas, it was $20 to do it for 1 month.
Yeah.
And then you got all the content. So
Mhm.
I get it.
I mean, I'm not
but
saying
if
that,
you want to watch it, they've controlled how it gets out, and so not everything's going to end up on YouTube anymore. I don't think, and certainly not in a short time frame. It'll be much longer before they put it out there. They got to protect their partners too. Not a regular. What do you think? Oh, I think he outbowled everybody by a lot. We talked to our boy Timmy yesterday. He was 140 over. He's in like 14th or 15th, and he's 450 behind Tom. That's a beating. Not there this week. Sounds like they're considerably harder for most everybody except Tom.
Tom Shannon got his best witch, our favorite. Easy for me, hard for everybody else.
That's right. That's yeah. He is putting it on them and kind of running away. And the rest of the field, you got Norm at 180 over, Brad Angelo 190 over, Tom Hess, Walter Ray's kind of up there. Amleto's the closest, and I think he's a couple hundred behind. So
yeah, I mean his lead's down to 170 now.
Okay, well they're already 5 games in. So Parker's running him down. Is 170 back. You have Duke, Lenny Barash, Walter Ray, Tom Hess, Monticelli's down to 7th. He's falling back. Don Knowlton.
But to be fair, he's averaging 10 pins a game more than everybody else. Like, just to put in perspective, that's a lot.
So you're talking about the whole Hall of Fame basically chasing him down right now. So
gladly. There you go, Aaron. I actually got to watch the Weber Cup last year because I was in quarantine. Yeah, it's the most English line ever, to be fair. It means quit being an asshole in English.
Would a solution to the back ends getting tight with urethane to be either put much less oil out or shorten patterns? Well, the general philosophy lately has been to make the lanes hook earlier, since urethane hooks earlier. Makes perfect sense. It certainly made mine hook way earlier. It made it hit terrible, and so I didn't want to use it. However, that was not the way everybody felt about it. And so because they were pretty flat down lane and guys couldn't get reactive back from the right, they chose urethane to control the back end and didn't worry about the front hooking early. And so while it doesn't necessarily make sense, it may end up being counterintuitive in that for urethane not to play, reactive may just have to be the better option versus versus something that where urethane doesn't look good. I think anytime they're hard, I think we're going to see a ton of urethane in cold water, just because the lanes are hard, and I don't think that's a great place for urethane. Most guys didn't even throw it when we bowled on the Cheetah. Years ago.
It'll be interesting. I feel like having a little bit of angle through the front often makes it a little easier on those type of patterns.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. But that's but we need yeah, exactly.
You are bilingual.
Yeah, I'm not really too worried about that event yet. We've got this one here at the Davidson Family Bowling Center. So
the players having solutions, the players are causing it. It's not
also,
and it's not their job,
Yeah, it gets really bad when the players start trying to figure out because there's no way you don't come up with a solution that's good for you.
Yeah.
Matt Russo and Michael Holloman, they were quite happy with the solution last week.
Seems fine.
And the right-handers were very happy with the solution in Lubbock in general.
Yeah.
One lefty made it out of 40.
So,
I mean,
yeah, and a place where the left has been good.
I was very much thankful that the one place I bowl good, they cut the left off. I was quite happy about that.
Yeah. And whether it's actually in play or not, the deal is that there's a group that feels like their ball has an advantage, and so they're going to try and exploit that advantage, even if it doesn't really make the lanes higher scoring. That advantage played out on the right side, but it did not play out over the whole field, and so it ended up costing them any chance to make the show. So
this is a very overblown narrative about the ball companies not being happy about urethane balls. I mean, Brunswick are happy. They just released the Purple Hammer. Yeah. The more publicity they get for that ball, the better, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, just re-released one. So, it's
do you feel the influence from college bowling and how they use? No, not for me. I don't think it's got anything to do with college bowling.
No.
College bowling's been influenced by the PBA Tour and the success people have had with urethane. College bowling has never. The only thing that college bowling has influenced on the PBA Tour is pace of play. College bowling has no influence on the PBA Tour. That's like talking about college basketball having an influence on the NBA. Yeah. Nobody cares.
It's the other way around. Once I'm a big college bowling advocate and fan, but there's not a lot of it on TV, and it's not, mostly I'm watching my alumni team play in the national finals more than anything else.
Going back to the Weber Cup, I would like to get rid of the World Temping scoring system. Scoring for Sun readers. The Sun is the red top newspaper. We don't use that word, as we might say over here. I get why they do it, but I think they are insulting the intelligence of the audience if they cannot understand the traditional scoring system. The Weber Cup is about the only time where I feel like that scoring system isn't really the end of the world. And the reason why is it's head-to-head, and I feel like it makes the games much more likely to end up going down to a one-shot deal. And
the games are a little quicker.
Obviously in the purity of the game, you want the best team to win.
Yeah.
But the fact that for a made-for-TV event, which the Weber Cup really is, having one-shot moments of tension is way more important, I think. So I don't mind it in the Weber Cup. Jasper certainly doesn't mind it because spares don't really matter that much, and throwing a bunch of strikes does matter. So
and it is slightly easier. It is nice to go up and go, well, you don't have to add up a bunch of scenarios, and I get it. Those of the bowled a lot have no problem with that. There's a very large percentage of people who do bowl now that have never kept score, and whether I like it or not, this version of it isn't that bad. As we played it out more and more, there's some things that I like about it. That 6 spare, because it's on a strike instead of a spare, it matters if you get 6 now all the time. So
my man was watching you bowl. He said he liked how I went out and was the ball caddy for you on Saturday.
Yeah, you were really shitting the bed when your mate goes, I'll go. We can try something if you want. I'll go make that run for you. I had plenty of bowling balls in there.
Yeah, 5 strikes and 5 opens beats an all spare game. Who cares? Strikes are important. It's just different. It's not right or wrong.
Yeah. Well, it also depends. It doesn't necessarily, but it's probably going to be close.
Front 5 followed by 5 opens gives you a chance of beating an all spare game as well.
Yeah,
it depends what your spares are.
Yeah.
It says, Jim says, nothing wrong with having a look that nobody seems to have. No, it's perfect. He says Diana was able to stand 10 right with the UC2 of the girls and forced to stand 50. She only has speed to actually tilt it. Yeah. And in
Happens
general,
all the time.
check out Francois Lavoie bowling against the two-handers. He seems to be holding his own.
Yeah.
Walter Ray using a purple hammer most of the day. Yeah,
Again today.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I knew he did on A squad the other day. So, string pin setters. Hard to say what that's going to turn into. There's a few different versions out there. There's one of them where the strings are asymmetrical. I'm really against that version of string pin setters. So,
Okay,
they have to be the same all the way across.
I'm just about to back my truck up over this guy. Talk about talking shit. Seems like a lot of players whine about Brunswick and the purple having an advantage. Seems silly when Stormside 90% of the players on the tour. You couldn't be talking more shit if you tried. 90% of the players. There's more people on Brunswick staff. They've got 7 companies.
Yeah.
And 98% of all young, talented two-handers.
Yeah. That's not a signing. That's just who's throwing them.
Yeah, and also when people make a choice over what they want to throw, if you're left-handed, Jesper. So does that mean that Jesper should get all the credit in the world because he's the only lefty not using the purple hammer? Like, I mean, yeah, people, stop. I'm just saying that Jim's saying I'm correct. He wasn't answering that, but he's saying I'm correct. You gouts rock. I'm hoping he meant guys.
Yeah. Yeah, hurt gout's not a good thing. I don't know.
2021 PBA Urethane Tour, ban urethane, the crutch. Yeah, I mean, that one event.
Yeah.
That one event. It wasn't like that for the majority of the season. Like,
there's a lot of it that goes down the lane now.
Yeah,
people
but I mean,
to exploit.
Overall, it hasn't been that much better this season because Darren Tang is excellent with urethane, and he's taken advantage of it the last couple of seasons, and he's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
This season, he bowled well in this summer swing so far, but in general, that hasn't really been.
No, it's in play, but it hasn't been a dominant factor. I mean, the only real dominant factor about it this week was that I thought it eliminated the right hand, the right side.
Yeah, I think we were pretty much screwed, to be honest. Right, reactive.
Yeah.
Thing. But anyway, so Justin says, so on the subject of urethane, do you all feel guys start with it to give themselves an advantage and make the pattern harder, or they don't have enough tricks in the bag to get reactive into the right patterns? I mean, that's a bit chicken and the egg. I feel like guys use it because it enables them to control the pocket, and they don't feel like they've got enough confidence to do that with their hand, because reactive on the fresh, you need to use direction of roll to control the pocket. So that's part of the issue.
Yeah. Well, often lane men will flatten out the back end of the pattern to keep scores down, because when that back end gets too much shape, then rev rate and beats up the pattern, and the scores can get really high. But when they flatten out the back end of the pattern, all those guys with rev rate now have to have a way to control their shape, and so they're going to go to something that helps them do that. Sometimes it's a stronger, or a smoother reactive, but lots of times now, it's urethane in one form or fashion. So
David says, is urethane really that big of a deal? You score. I mean, that's a very simplistic way of looking at it, but yes.
How it breaks down the lane, it ends up being an issue because of how much the oil travels with urethane versus reactive.
The Matt Rath plastic ball tournament? No. I mean, if you want to talk about something that's bad for the ball companies,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's a loss. Plastic balls cost more to make than they sell them for.
How many majors were won with urethane this year? Not more than reactive. No, there was none won this year with urethane on the show.
Yeah.
But
it was used to get there.
If you go back the last few years, I mean, Belmont won the World Championships with urethane. the TOC. He won with urethane. Like there's been a lot of tournaments like where people have been able to control the pocket with it, and they, the thing is urethane. One of the things that forced people out of urethane in the past was that the carry percentage wasn't that high because they'd flat 10 a lot. The thing is now with the two-handers or even with the one-handers who have really high rev rates, they don't really suffer with that and they still get the control. So, yeah. Anyway, that's probably going to wrap it up for us, I think.
Yeah.
We are here. So if you're anywhere in this Ohio area, come down, check out the regional down here. Go ahead. Use the spinners round.
Oh, I know.
18 lane center.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a very cool place. So, pardon my camera work and lack thereof, but banners up, 18 laners, 5 on a pair today. It looks like we're going to get to really close to a full field, which for a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday regional is kind of
Cool.
It's pretty wild. So it's been a minute. So, yeah, did they change the color on the Zen Master? No, not that I'm aware of. It's been black, purple, and green. So, I think this tournament here may be the first time we get to have a real look at it on something where it could be the right.
I really want to go
ball.
and take a picture of the Zen that's in the pro shop in Coldwater. It might be the prettiest looking Zen I've ever seen. It's like, it looks so pretty. It looks like it's a photograph. Like when they do
the one,
when they put up the ones on the photos. It's fantastic. So,
all
right. Take care, guys. We
all
will
right.
see you. We will have some exciting announcements next week. We have some more partners coming on to the Beef and Barnzy show. We always love that. But that's I was about to say we can just let's run us out of here, Chris.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Once again, if you're in the area this week, come out to Minster, Ohio, and Community Lanes. If you're around this weekend, head on over to Coldwater and play more lanes, where we'll be running stop 4 of the summer tour. And once again, support those small businesses and bowling centers out there this summer. And if you get a chance, support the sponsors that support us. Storm Global, Rotogrip, Vice, Coolwit, 3D Shoes, Master, Bowler's Mart, Mark Baker Bowling, Fire Lake Bowling Center, and Lightning Strikes. Once again, thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. We'll see what happens on Thursday as we're hopefully bowling in this tournament. But
well,
yeah. And if we are, then we will see you next Tuesday. And if not, we'll see you then. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
See you later, guys.